Inside Judge Raquel West's courtroom today, emotions are running high as three defendants come face to face with the fallout of their own choices. From probation violations to reckless conduct, each case reveals a pattern of promises made and broken, and makes one thing clear. In Judge West's courtroom, excuses don't stand a chance.
All right, are you Leonard Dale Adelbert?
Yes.
And this is cause number 1625968. Mr. Adelbert is on probation for driving while intoxicated, third or more. A motion to revoke has been filed, and Mr. Cole has filed a motion asking that I set a bond in this case.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like the allegations from that motion are that Mr. Adelbert, while on probation, allegedly committed the new offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more, January 9th of 2025 in Chambers County, Texas. That he left Jefferson County without permission. That he drove a vehicle that did not have an interlock device on it. That when he was stopped, the allegation is the intoxilizer that was administered provided breath samples of 0.108 and 0.115 and behind in his fees a little bit as well. Mr. Cole?
Well, Your Honor, I think since the time that Mr. Adelbert was put on probation in 2017, up until this latest incident, his mental capacity has changed dramatically. He's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He's on the verge of his nerves inside of his brain have shrunk. So on top of the Alzheimer's, he's has the possibility of having a stroke. So I think that this is him not remembering the conditions, and his wife is here that can, his keys, you're taking his keys. We do have paperwork that I gave to counsel that can, from the doctor showing that he does have Alzheimer's. He was diagnosed in March with Alzheimer's, and the nerves in his brain are shrinking. Your Honor, he's unaware that he even violated the condition.
Well, that makes it even scarier for me.
That I know it does, but we're asking that we get him out, and his wife is going to take care of him and make sure that he doesn't drive that car anymore. Take the keys. Now that we're aware of.
Why don't you, if you want to put on a witness, that might help.
I'd like to call Gwendolyn Brown, please.
Okay, Ms. Brown, come on up, ma'am. Do you have some documentation? Good morning, ma'am. And your name, what was your first name?
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn Brown. And Ms. Brown, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Cole.
State your name for the record, ma'am.
Gwendolyn and Albert.
Yes, ma'am. And how long have you known this gentleman right here?
We've been married 13 years.
13 years. And when did you start noticing deterioration in his mental capacity?
Back in December last month. Last year, 2004.
And I guess another question I want to ask you is,
Can you speak up, please?
what are you willing to do to ensure that Mr. Adelbert no longer has access to his vehicle?
I will take the keys from him. He will not drive anymore. Nothing.
He already had it.
I already had the keys. He can't drive anymore. He will not drive anymore.
That's her car. That's her car.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He will not drive anymore. I will take the keys from him, and he will not drive.
And do you think that in this situation that happened in Chambers County, do you think that he was aware of the conditions of probation that he was violating?
No, he wasn't aware because his probation officer told him that she was done with him. So when you say you're done with somebody, that means you're done with them. You thought he wasn't on probation anymore.
So there's a lot going on upstairs, Your Honor. I don't want him showing back up in a red suit. I know she didn't care for him outside of this facility that he's currently in right now, which is in jail. We have a court case in Chambers County that we would like to be at. And I don't think that he was intentionally violating probation. I think that he, you know, at this point, his mind is...
He get lost all the time.
Yes. So he's getting lost. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. And I can have a conversation with him right now, and he'll forget it in the next 2 hours. So, you know, it's one of the
Thank you, ma'am. You can have a seat.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
When he was in jail in Chambers County, the probation officer told me to bring him to her as soon as I get him out of jail, right? So I brought him to her, and then she called his name, and I was going upstairs with him, and she said, "Miss Adalbert, you have to stay downstairs." So she went, she said, only me and my supervisor need to talk to him. So my supervisor talked to him, and when he came back outside, I said, "What did she say?" He said, "Nothing." She said, "Go home." But she had told him to go turn himself in to Jefferson County. And
Okay,
he didn't remember by the time he got back to the court.
okay,
So he would have been in jail.
right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Malfino, based on,
Obviously, I have the same concerns as the court based on the representation of his wife, that he won't be driving. That gives me a little bit of comfort. I did speak myself with Ms. Hunter. I know she's probably just told him what the rules are, and maybe he doesn't understand them, but I know she hasn't been combative with him. She initially told me she doesn't oppose him being a bond. I don't know if she's aware of these medical conditions, but again, our concern would be the driving factor. And obviously, you couldn't go somewhere like mental health, safety, or anything with that.
no, not with that diagnosis, and I don't think with that diagnosis either.
Right.
Let me look at something else. All right, so what I'm going to do in this case is set a bond. I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. I'm going to order that a condition of that bond is that Mr. Idlebird not drive ever. And I'm doing that on the representation that the keys will be taken away, hidden, whatever's necessary. And so I'm looking at you, ma'am, that you are giving me that representation to make me feel comfortable that he doesn't get the keys somehow and drive. So just sticking them in your purse or sticking them in a drawer with this type of diagnosis is not going to be good enough. I'm going with your assurances that you're going to take care of that. Obviously, you don't want anything to happen to anyone else in the community as much as I don't. So I'm going to do this based on the fact that you're giving me those assurances. And then obviously there will not need to be, if there's already an order for an interlock, I will allow that to be. Is there an interlock?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
But he's done.
Well, I know we want him to be done and we're saying he's done. You're able to drive the vehicle with the interlock, correct?
I can't breathe. You talking about breathing?
Y'all don't have, how many cars do y'all have?
I have one car.
Okay,
His car is gone.
it's gone.
Right.
Okay, so I won't require an interlock on her vehicle, so that if he doesn't have, if that's gone, then we're fine with that. Any other condition other than the no driving and her assurances that you can think of, Ms. Malfino?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, we'll reset it for an announcement on that MTRP.
Well, may I just inquire, Judge, before that hearing, is it Mr. Giles, Mr. Cole, your representation to the court that you believe at some point in time your client will be able to enter pleas of either true or not true to this motion, or do we need to make some other type of arrangements? Can you?
I believe that he'll be able to make pleas are true or not true.
Okay.
Yes.
once you have more time to visit with him as well, if there's an issue because of the diagnosis with regard to competency, we might have to try to just see where we are on it all, okay? All right,
Thank you.
thank you. You can go back with the bailiff.
Okay.
My excuse, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Mr. Wilkerson. Everything, all of them except 0534. Good morning. Are you Bryce Thomas? And Mr. Burbank, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment in each case?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going open on each case, and the aggravated sexual assault is being the lesser included indecency by exposure, which is a third degree.
So is,
Did you sign it? Did not.
we can do it, y'all can get it done as soon as I'm finished. I'll go,
Completely about the registration.
I'll go through it with them. I just want to make sure, because of the agreement for the lesser in that case and for anything to run concurrently, is that the plea bargain agreement where he would be waiving his right to appeal?
And also, they're
The dismissal.
dismissing the UUMB.
Gotcha, okay. Give me just a second, yeah.
And the lesser included is instead of a first, is a
Third. Oh, 0354 is being dismissed, I think. Or 0534, whatever I said. Okay, Mr. Thomas, in cause number 24, DCCR 0389, you're charged with a third-degree felony offense of possession of a prohibited weapon from January 31st of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they've charged you with? In cause number 24-0390, you're charged with the third-degree felony offense of possession of a prohibited weapon from January 30th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with? In cause number 24 DCCR 0391, you're charged with a state jail felony offense of theft of a firearm, and that's from January 30th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with? And then what is the reduction to?
It's indecency exposure, third degree felony.
In cause number 24, DCCR 0392, the state has elected to proceed on the lesser included offense of a third-degree felony of indecency with a child by exposure, and that's from November 9th of 2023. And how do you plead to that charge? Again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And because you did what they charged you with? In each of these cases, I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Burbank? Do you fully understand them? And I want to make sure you understand there's kind of a partial agreement, and that agreement is that the state is going to dismiss cause number 24-0534, which is an unauthorized use of a vehicle, They are agreeing to that lesser included offense of the indecency in that case. And they're also agreeing that if anything that I sentence you to, if it's time in prison, would run concurrently. There's not a specific agreement with regard to any time or any outcome, only those agreements with regard to the dismissal of the case, the reduction in the other case, and the fact that they'll all run at the same time. Is that your understanding? Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? Also, in that indecency case, do you understand that you will be required to register as a sex offender? And Mr. Burbank will go over that more with you today, and there's a document you need to sign today with regard to that. And do you understand that as well? State tenders number 1 in each case.
No objection, states 1 in each case, Your Honor.
It's admitted in each case. Is there any evidence that Mr. Thomas is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find in each of your cases that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of those pleas. Find sufficient evidence in each of your cases to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case for a sentencing hearing. We'll get a pre-sentence report done. That'll give me more information about you, your cases, and we'll come back later for sentencing. Anything that you think is important for me to know, make sure you get that information to Mr. Burbank. He will present it to me on your behalf when we come back. All right? You can go back with the bailiff.
May be excused from that.
Yes, sir. And I'll give you a minute to talk to
Can
Mr.
someone
Ramon.
Send it back to a computer.
If you're drawn to real courtroom moments where truth meets justice, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every week, we bring you real cases, genuine reactions, and the powerful lessons they reveal.
Good morning. Are you Juan David Sanchez? And Mr. Sanchez is currently on probation for the offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more. A motion to revoke was filed with the allegation that there was a new offense of driving while intoxicated from April 15th of this year in Wharton. Is that Wharton County or anyway, it's in Texas. And then also that on April 15th, 2025, he was driving a vehicle that was not equipped with an ignition interlock device and that he failed to abstain from the use of alcohol. Mr. Franklin has filed a motion asking that I set a bond. There's currently not a bond on the motion to revoke probation. Do you intend to call your client as a witness or no? Or
Only if necessary, Your Honor.
go ahead and I'm trying to find. Give me just a second. I'm looking for the old PSI.
I have my copy if you need it, Your Honor.
This one may be old enough where it didn't get.
It may be so old, right back then, we probably weren't.
It was 2019.
Okay. All right, you can go ahead, Mr.
Your Honor, we
Franklin.
have not been provided with a copy of the old PSI. That was not produced to us. So that was one of the issues I think that needs addressing. We also supplied
Mr. Nichols.
right up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We supplied, we filed with our motion about a dozen letters in support.
And I have received those and take judicial notice of the court's file that includes those as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. In assessing whether Mr. Sanchez is a flight risk, I think the support from his community, from his family, helped provide evidence that he's not a flight risk. So the court should then turn to the prongs of whether, of what threat he may pose to himself or others. In this case, the underlying offense was 2019. The motion was filed based on a violation, true, but there were not other violations as far as not reporting or failing other tests up until now. So that's been effectively 6 years that he's been compliant. We'd also like for the court to take note that the other offenses that are mentioned go back as far as 1992 to 1995, 2001, et cetera. In other words, it has been, in some instances, decades since those offenses occurred. And although we're not downplaying the severity of what Mr. Sanchez is currently charged with, we do think the court should take into account, as regards the threat to himself or others, the fact that the other causes are, in some instances, over 30 years old.
What's the status of that case in Wharton? Does anybody know?
Your Honor, it is my understanding, and I don't represent him on that case, but my understanding is that it is pending because this one fell first in the queue, so he was sent here first.
Okay. So they're going to wait for us to see what I do, I
That
guess.
is my understanding, Your Honor, but again, I don't represent him on that, but that's what I could glean. I spoke to a lawyer that he conferred with there, but he did not end up hiring that lawyer, so he couldn't speak,
Okay. All right, Mr. Nichols, what's the state's position with regard to a bond?
Judge, my main concern is him driving a vehicle that doesn't have an interlocks. We have no idea how much driving he's done. It sounds like the only reason we found out about this violation is that he got caught. I doubt that this is a one-time event of driving his wife's vehicle without an interlock. And so to protect the community, I'd ask that if the court does set a bond, that it be high enough to protect the community from his repeated driving while intoxicated.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Sure.
First, speculation as regards any other instances is probably not admissible. But secondly, there are measures that the court can take in assigning bond conditions to monitor Mr. Sanchez in such a way that he...
But he had probation conditions that were meant to monitor him.
Your Honor, as regards whether he's drinking, for example, there are SCRAM devices and other devices that constantly test for alcohol in the system. The SCRAM device, for example, tests every half hour.
Yeah, so here's where I am on this. Mr. Sanchez had at least, this is his fourth conviction that we know of for a DUI. I know there were some other arrests that we didn't have the disposition. Looks like, at least according to some of the information I've received, that there's been 7 or 8 arrests. This was a cap.
Including those as well, Your Honor.
Okay, that's overruled. They think with regard to setting bond under 17.15, I'm able to take into consideration everything that is at my disposal. And in fact, I'm required to take into account everything that is at my disposal with regard to prior offenses, with the most recent bail reform, as well as the ones from a couple years ago. So I guess my worry isn't necessarily the reporting or him fleeing. My concern is for the safety of the community. And this was a cap of 8 years when I gave him this probation, probably against the argument of counsel from the state. And gave him this opportunity. He's on probation, commits another. We're lucky we're not here for an intox assault or even worse. I am going to deny the motion for a bond at this time. If there is any likelihood at all that I would leave Mr. Sanchez on probation, it would absolutely be with some type of treatment. And so I'm not going to allow him to get out and even with the SCRAM or anything else and put the community in danger. All right, we'll get it set for an announcement within about 30 days or so, and then we'll see where we get on the case.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. You can go back with the bailiff.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, sir, thank you. All right, I'm going to reset Mr. Arsenault for 2 weeks to give Mr. LeBlanc some time to visit with Mr. Hoffpower again. Make sure you visit with him before that next court date, just in case something happens, since that way he can make some notes for the district attorney. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. You've got Corey Flemings.
Yeah, can I have 1 moment?
Sure. Sure.
I just set the registration if you want to go over at sentencing with them.
I don't really have to. I just need it signed by him. Thank you very much. I see it just came through. Mr. Cole, you've got Leonard Idlebird.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, that's just setting a hearing.
Oh, I have,
Okay. Okay, that's okay. I might write on. Let me see what I'll need something. Good morning, Mr. Cole.
Good morning, Your Honor. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Great.
What we've seen today inside
What we witnessed today inside Judge Raquel West's courtroom was a powerful reminder that actions have real and lasting consequences. 3 defendants stood before her, each with a different story, but all facing the same test of accountability. The first case was Bryce Thomas, who faced multiple charges for evading arrest, not just once, but several times, both on foot and behind the wheel. On top of that came a string of probation violations and misconduct while in jail. Throughout the hearing, Judge West made it clear she was done listening to excuses. She pressed Bryce on his repeated disregard for the law and his failure to follow probation rules. What stood out most was his attitude, one that showed little accountability. The judge's tone grew sharper as she reminded him that every choice he made pulled him further away from freedom. By the end, it was clear that leniency had run out. This wasn't about one mistake anymore, it was about a pattern. And Judge West wasn't about to let that go unpunished. The second case was Juan David Sanchez, who appeared for a probation revocation bond hearing. Accused of violating his probation terms, he faced tough questions from the judge about what he had done or failed to do to earn another chance. The tension in the room was unmistakable. Juan tried to explain himself, but Judge West's questions cut through his uncertainty. She reminded him that probation isn't a free pass, it's a test of trust and discipline. The more he spoke, the more it became clear that his freedom was hanging by a thread. Without proof of progress or real change, she explained, the system couldn't offer another opportunity. His case showed how quickly probation can turn into prison time when someone doesn't take it seriously. The third case involved Leonard Dale Idlebird, who was facing a DWI probation revocation. He had a history of alcohol issues and was supposed to be in treatment as part of his probation. His wife spoke on his behalf, describing his struggles with health and sobriety, hoping to show that he was trying to change. But Judge West wasn't persuaded by words alone. She demanded evidence, treatment records, attendance logs, and proof of accountability. The emotional testimony revealed a family trying to hold on, but the judge's message was firm: intentions mean nothing without action. In her courtroom, accountability and proof, not promises, keep someone out of custody. Across all 3 cases, one theme stood out: Judge Raquel West's commitment to personal responsibility. Whether it was someone running from the law, violating probation, or failing to show real change, she handled each case with a balance of firmness and fairness. She listened carefully, questioned thoroughly, and reminded each defendant that the justice system rewards honesty and effort, not excuses. What makes Judge West's courtroom so powerful isn't just her rulings, it's the reality behind them. Real people. Real consequences. A judge who demands growth over talk. Each case today showed what happens when second chances are wasted. If you want to keep seeing moments where accountability meets justice, and every word counts, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share which case stood out to you most. Because inside Judge Raquel West's courtroom, every day is a lesson, and every verdict tells a story.